Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates remains optimistic about humanity's future despite its many challenges. He sees promise in the accelerated advancements of vaccine science, particularly with the production of malaria and COVID-19 vaccines. However, he maintains his critical stance on cryptocurrency, viewing it as a flawed concept based on finding a greater fool to buy into it. He said, "As an asset class, you're not producing anything, and so you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type of investment." In this video, we explore Bill Gates' perspective on the future of cryptocurrency and its potential impact on our world. Bill Gates on the future. Despite the problematic pandemic and climate change challenges, Bill Gates remains optimistic about the future. The billionaire expressed his positive outlook during an interview with British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, which included questions curated by ChatGPT. Gates highlighted the remarkable progress in vaccine science, which has enabled the production of vaccines for COVID-19 and malaria. As a prominent advocate for vaccine production and humanitarian projects, Gates has recently urged Elon Musk to prioritize such endeavors over space conquests. As such, his comments come as no surprise. Additionally, he sees increased education and information dissemination as vital factors in creating a brighter future. Bill Gates' take on cryptocurrency. Although he believes in the future, Bill Gates certainly does not see cryptocurrency as a means that could make the future better. In fact, he has had a very different perception of crypto, just like Warren Buffett, whom we will focus on later in the video. In a February 2021 interview with Bloomberg, Gates expressed his skepticism toward Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, citing the high energy consumption required for mining and the lack of regulatory oversight. Gates emphasized that Bitcoin mining consumes significant energy, with an estimated annual consumption of 120 to 240 billion kilowatt hours, leading to significant environmental impact. Furthermore, he expressed concerns about the crypto market's lack of transparency and regulation, which could hinder its widespread adoption. In addition to the above concerns, Bill Gates has also criticized the underlying philosophy of Bitcoin, labeling it as a greater fool theory that should not be considered a legitimate form of investment. The greater fool theory is an economic concept that suggests that an asset's value is not based on its intrinsic worth, but rather on the belief that someone else will be willing to pay a higher price for it in the future. In other words, the theory suggests that people buy assets not because they believe the assets are worth the price they are paying, but because they believe they can sell them later to someone else for a higher price. This theory is often associated with speculative bubbles in financial markets, such as the dot-com bubble in the late 1990s or the housing bubble in the mid-2000s. In these situations, investors buy assets at inflated prices, hoping to sell them to a greater fool who will pay an even higher price. However, when the market eventually corrects itself, many investors are left holding assets worth far less than what they paid, and there may be no greater fools left to sell to. Essentially, the greater fool theory is considered risky because it relies on the belief that someone else will be willing to pay a higher price for an asset in the future rather than on the asset's intrinsic value. If the market sentiment changes and people stop believing that the asset is worth its current price, the value of the asset can plummet, leading to significant losses for investors who were counting on finding a greater fool to sell to. Up next, we will share the perspective of Warren Buffett on crypto. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more insightful content like this. Buffett on cryptocurrency. Bill Gates is not the only influential person publicly criticizing cryptocurrency. One such critic is Warren Buffett, the legendary investor and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. Buffett has been critical of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in several interviews. In a 2018 interview with CNBC, he referred to Bitcoin as rat poison squared and said it is a gambling device with no intrinsic value. In another interview with CNBC about 4 years ago, Buffett reiterated his skepticism about Bitcoin as an investment asset. He said, "It's ingenious and blockchain is important, but Bitcoin has no unique value at all. It doesn't produce anything. You can stare at it all day, and no little Bitcoins come to us or anything like that. It's a delusion, basically." Buffett believes that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are not productive assets like stocks or bonds, which generate earnings or interest for their holders. Instead, Bitcoin's value is entirely based on what someone else is willing to pay, making it a speculative asset subject to extreme volatility and price fluctuations. Surely, Bill Gates' stance on the future and on crypto is quite unique and different from other influential people, such as Elon Musk, who has been a popular advocate for cryptocurrency. In our next video, we will share insights into some of the questions that Bill Gates addressed in the interview with Rishi Sunak. Hope you enjoy that as well.